You can see here the Death Star orbiting the forest moon of Endor. Wait, are you telling me the entire moon is forest? Like, nothing is different? Just a planet of forest? Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xerath Prevails. We're in the Plan, which is my weekly show discussing all the various happenings and shenanigans around the holotables. There's a lot to talk about today, including the TIE Defender, the Fred 5, and the Traya Nerf. This should be pretty interesting, folks. There's a lot going on, including the mounting of the algorithm, folks. Only you can help me mount the algorithm. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It's a way to support this channel for free. And, I mean, it costs you a little bit. It costs you a little bit of mounting. What's wrong with that? Ain't nobody not got time for that. We've got, for content that I released this week, I actually put out a lot of pretty work-intensive videos that did not do that well, if I'm just being perfectly honest. I think the Faction Essentials videos tend to be a long burn, so I guess that's fine. But I would check this one out, guys. I know that the video's long. If you just want to watch the footage of the actual fights, you guys, there's always timestamps there, so you guys can go check those out. Helpful, useful stuff, in my opinion. It can change the meta a little bit. I'm kind of glad in some ways that people haven't been watching it, because there's a lot of really cool stuff to be found there, in my opinion. I did make some infographics, and I'm told that the General Skywalker comp on this is actually partially successful. It wins sometimes, not every time. So I guess go fling yourself on that if you want. If not, I did actually record. I was able to beat some of the missions with new teams, so I'll probably update this data or this infographic in a little bit. I don't know how much a little bit is, but we've got those all found in the Discord server. A link found in the video description. You can find the link there. You can get them, send them to your guild. Hopefully they're helpful. The next group of infographics I make, I'm not going to be updating these right away. I'll be doing phase 3 planets, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be super duper fun, I'm sure. Yeah, so I made this phase 2 explained video. It did one of the worst out of all the videos I've made for months. Just no one wants to watch it. Ain't nobody got time for that. I also made a set 6 shopping list, just because a lot of people wanted to know which things they should be prioritizing for Datacrons, because Conquest is here and all of that. I know that there's a lot of questions. This set is super complex, guys. Set 6 is very, very difficult. So I put this out. This is also an infographic found on the Discord server. You guys can go check that out. People have been asking what happened to crate expectations this week. There's no secret we didn't release one in the last. I guess there's 2 out of the 3 last weeks we have not actually released a crate expectations, and frankly, guys, Sarah was sick this week. Unfortunately, don't like that at all. But frankly, I mean, she's close to full term at this point, and I don't know how much we can expect to be publishing this in the come next few weeks, and we have no plans to stop producing it. It's just it's more and more difficult to record things. And now, if you do want to watch more Sarah things, or listen at least, she has been consistently putting out her podcast on Holotable News Network, so you guys can go check that out if you want. I am not there, of course, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't check it out, so go check it out for sure. Now, this might be the first and last time I ever give advice on Conquest, folks, but this Conquest is a little bit more challenging than others. There's a lot of different things that they're not necessarily easy to get, and so Sector 3 you can actually triple dip on the mini boss, the middle boss node. I don't really know what it's called, guys. I don't know Conquest terminology, but what I do know is that you have to get non-separatist droid kills, which is something Chupio can get you. You need blind, which is also something Chupio can get you, and then Master's Training is something that Hermit Yoda can get you. And so the thing is, the Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, if you save him for last, if you're fighting the Adrad team, he puts up this undispellable buff that means you're going to time out if you don't have something that kills him without allowing revives. If you can kill him, then like he'll just keep reviving and reviving and reviving, and you can just hit the auto button and get all your blind, all your Master's Training, and all of your non-separatist droid kills, all in the. I think it took me 2 to get this, to get all the way. Like, just put auto for 20 minutes, and then I was really close to getting the Master's Training for the next one, so I was able to just do that on the bonus or the treasure node. So something to just keep in mind, folks. If Conquest got you down, you can get 3 of those feats in Sector 3 from one node. Now, Axel from, he comments on this channel. He's one of those, is in the top 100 right around. He's got a Relic Zorii, and at least in 3v3, she seems to be doing really well. I guess, you might struggle to see it. I just showed you the final photo. Like, the team just doesn't get beat by anything, hardly. Like, Zorii, like, so Finn, and instead of Fin Po now, it's Fin Zorii. Fin Zor, I don't know what to call it, but he got 10 holds on one and 6 holds on another, and then the last one, his opponent did not attack, but she has the Omicron, and she's 345 speed, so an effective 380, but it's beating a lot of really good teams too. Like, these photos, I guess they don't have bad teams on them, but you also have to keep in mind it's He's also beat like a Gidme team. You guys haven't seen that video recently, I think, on this channel, or at least you had the opportunity to. I magnanimously proffered it for your viewing pleasure. And otherwise, I think, what was the other one? Oh yeah, Jedi Revan, Jedi Luke team also lost to it. So looking pretty strong, guys, with that Omicron and the relics and stuff. I don't know, I'm fairly impressed. I didn't think that Zorii was going to get up to that many shenanigans in 3s especially, but she's barely doing some good work. So the Traya Nerf is here, folks, and that's the first time they've done it for a good long while. But let's see, Darth Traya. So they fixed a few bugs, and they told us about them in their initial post, and then they actually, they didn't tell us at all. They just let us find out, discover for ourselves that, hey, also, the Dark Side Galactic Legends are, it's also off limits so you can use it against Light Side Galactic Legends, apparently. Like, it's still good against, like, Jedi Master Luke, which, it is good against Jedi Master Luke. I don't really get it, but, the bug fixes I have no issues with, and honestly, we all expected that they were going to have some kind of clause of not allowing it against Galactic Legends. I thought it was funny that it was just Dark Side Galactic Legends, though. Like, they didn't say anything about Light Side. I don't know, like, it's usually those Omicrons say Galactic Legends, not just Light or Dark. What about neutral, guys? When are we going to get a neutral Galactic Legend? That might be stupid. So, alright, should we apply Traya Omicron? That's the big question, because they're going to give us a refund, and that's going to be in this next week, is what they communicated. So, they haven't been, like, super explicit about it. A lot of people have asked me, where's my refund? Where's my refund? And it'll be next week. That's what CG says. So, we'll all get a chance, potentially, to sample the wares first. Like, we might be able to use the diminished Omicron for Traya. And I guess the things that I want to point out here, folks, I think first off, it's still a very strong data or Omicron. It's very, very strong. It still kills Malgus, which is, we don't have much that kills Malgus that right now, like that cheaply or efficiently. Like, yes, Galactic Legends will do it, but otherwise, you know, you have to start worrying about, like, can Jedi Knight Luke team, can that beat Malgus? Not really sure. It's tough to tell what's gonna beat this team off meta, and Traya is a decent solution against at least a few of the Malgus builds, and so I think they're probably reapplying the Traya Omi. I want to do it. The other factor, though, folks, is we've got a lot of Omicrons to apply coming up. Now, I know that not everyone is going to be in the same high-end guild that I am, which is, you know, we're going to be unlocking Riva here in, I don't know, pretty soon-ish, I guess. You know, the next 3 months or so for my main account and for my alt, in fact. I think my alt will just be like one month behind or something, but one way or another, like, we'll be getting Riva. She needs 3 Omicrons. Trench is also going to be unlocked in that time frame, and he'll need 3 Omicrons. And then Zorii also wants one. And so I think that the other piece of the Traya puzzle is, can we really afford to reapply on her? I mean, I think I will do that, at least on my main account. Probably on my alt too, because a Malgus counter is just really strong. I don't know that Zorii is killing Malgus. Like, she'll probably kill a lot of things, probably do a lot of cool stuff on that account, or on a lot of different accounts, but I think at the end of the day, like, Traya solves a problem that I have right now. Trench, I'm not sure if he's going to be good, and the Omicrons are going to be for territory wars anyways, which a lot of guilds are just, like, not incentivized to apply territory war Omicrons, and you know, just because it takes a lot of coordination to be able to do that. So I don't know, like, I think probably it's worthwhile, frankly, guys. Like, it's still going to be very good. Yes, the nerfs kind of hurt it, but it's still going to be really strong, like, just because they fixed the bugs. So you're still going to be doing a lot of damage with the Omicron, and yeah, I really do think it's probably worthwhile. Now, if you don't worry about Malgus for whatever reason, you could maybe find a different use for it. We'll just have to see, folks. There's a lot of questions right now, like how many Omicrons on Riva, how many Omicrons on Trench, if any. You know, when are we going to get Zorii? Who knows? Now, there's a new post by Meatface, our community manager, and keeping with the theme of this, you know, Red 5 trolling business that he's been up to for several months now. He's got, so it's a puzzle, guys. He's giving us a puzzle. So if you take every single capitalized letter here, E, D, F, R. So I think the only reasonable conclusion here, guys, would be Fred from Scooby-Doo. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't think that there's really much in the way of debating that. And if you rearrange it a different way, red F, you know, that sounds maybe a little grosser if you decide not to go the red 5 route. But then also within this post, there's a 5v5 reference, which, I mean, it just makes me think that maybe we're getting Fred 5 from Scooby-Doo, just a kind of crossover thing. So that'll be interesting. We'll all enjoy that, I'm sure. Now, the TIE Defender is here, and there's a lot of interesting questions. So first off, the question that I keep questioning, like the thing that I'm just always like, what? I'm just so confused, and this is no shade thrown at people. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is shade. Who knows? But there are so many people who have been like, "Oh, Iden, I'll have to farm her. I'll have to actually like use her now." And I'm like, I don't know. My alt farmed her and put Relic 5 on her immediately because she is so crazy good against so many really important teams, guys. She is absolutely worth working on. And I know that sounds like a straw man argument, but I'm not going to copy paste people's comments there, but I've seen at least 5 people that I'm like, you don't have Iden yet? Like, people with, like, kind of big accounts. People who are good players who just don't have Iden. It's been very surprising to me. And if you don't have Iden, please don't feel attacked. This is a blind spot for me. Like, I didn't realize that Iden was considered to be like a non-vital farm to people. Like, if people feel that way, I guess now the TIE Defender is probably going to push you into doing it. So I'm probably beating a dead horse, which is really sad. But I also just want to make sure people understand Iden kills a lot of stuff. She is a very important farm, very, very worthwhile. And now that she's accelerated, you should absolutely be working on Iden, in my opinion. Now, the other part of the TIE Defender is that it doesn't have any Thrawn synergy, which is very confusing to me, because Thrawn is the one who invented it. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit of why. It's just very confusing to me, because Thrawn is the one who kind of offered the TIE Defender up as an alternative to the Emperor, as an alternative to the Death Star. He was like, hey, we'll have more tactical flexibility doing it this way. And I mean, if the Emperor had actually gone with it, then I mean, we might be looking at a very different ending to Star Wars right now. Now, the other thing is, guys, the initial, so it's a chase. It's a galactic chase, which means that as you farm other nodes, you just get bonus shards for this character and, for the ship. And right now it's looking like a 4% drop rate. At least a lot of the people I've talked to have been reporting it. I've gotten about 4%, which means it translates into, if you do the 50s and 100s on fleet, then in theory you'll be very close to getting a full 7-star unlock by the end of the full week that they give us to farm it. So I'm not saying that you should absolutely be chasing it like that, but it seems promising at the very least, guys. Usually it's closer to 3% drop rate, which means you can't really get it unless you super overinvest. But 4%, well, that's pretty doable, actually, folks. Now, they put out a TIE Defender FAQ, and the answers to them are actually helpful on some levels, and some of them are a little bit ridiculous. Like, why is TIE Defender an attacker? Why a TIE Defender is an attacker is the exact verbiage here. And there's so many laser cannons and ion torpedoes. Pew pew pew! I think that they were just trying to make a play on words here. TIE Defender. Why isn't it something else? I think because there's not a defender role. I don't think that there's nothing like. Should it be a tank? I don't think so. Alright, so fully established canon. Yeah, so this is the thing that I was saying. Like, why isn't there synergy with Chimera? And this is really interesting to me that they're saying, like, well, Chimera's been in a good spot, whereas Executor's just being left by the wayside. And I think that answer represents the analytics for the the entire community, like all the casual players, all the non-casual players, whatever. They take all that data, smash it in, and I think what's happening here, guys, is in case you're not aware, which apparently there's a lot of people who watch this channel who aren't aware, and that's not bad. Executrix already, there's a build with Executrix that already counters profundity, and so a lot of the competitive community have been questioning, like, why should we use these new ships with Executrix, like CG's trying to shove it onto us when we can already beat the best fleet in the game with Executrix. Like, Executrix didn't need a boost. Chimera needed a boost. No one in the competitive community is using Chimera right now. Everyone is using Executrix. However, the competitive community is a pretty small group of people compared to the totality of everyone who plays the game. And so I think CG, who doesn't really play the game at a competitive level, like they don't have people competing in GAC. I don't think, at least not at the top levels, that I don't think they have people, frankly, who are gonna be like, hey, but Executrix already fills a really important role, and it already takes out the best stuff. Like, instead, I think they're just taking the numbers from the totality of everyone who, the majority of people think that Chimera is better, I guess, and so they're trying to help a ship that does not need help, and I just find myself questioning why. I mean, I'm not even mad at CG necessarily. Like, it's a little bit annoying. It seems a little bit like they're not paying attention, especially like with the skill squish going on right now in Kyber 1. Like, they should at least address that, right? Unless they're totally oblivious because they don't have anyone playing in Kyber 1. I mean, I feel like that might be another topic, though. Like, they just don't have anyone playing in Kyber 1, which is worrisome. But yeah, I don't know. If they don't know that, they don't. But we want. All right, so to backtrack just a tiny bit, Executrix already fills a really important function right now for the competitive community, and so it's going to leave us in this really weird spot of like, well, we have the Scythe that is not going to be as used by the competitive community anymore because the Scythe like just makes the RNG even crazier. So why use that when the other counter is mostly reliable anyways? And then so what are we gonna do with the Scythe and the TIE Defender? I don't know. I have no idea, guys. Gonna be a very interesting time. We'll just have to see. I should also note, folks, that the death of the beta program, where they just decided to close it down because of they leaked the datacrons, and I guess I can understand their response, but these are things that the beta program would probably be able to communicate to CG because it was full of top-end players who actually wanted the health of this game to be, there. Wanted this game to be balanced, and like the Traya Omicron, they could have easily discovered. Like, that was the very first thought that I had with Traya. I was like, oh my gosh, this Omicron lets me probably beat Lord Vader. Like, that was just the first thought, and a ton of competitive players thought that as well. CG didn't notice that with Traya. They didn't notice that was a necessary thing to test, apparently. Like, they just didn't test it, and so they released something that now they have to nerf. Similarly, I don't think CG realizes that they're releasing ships for a capital ship that doesn't need help. The competitive community's figured it out. The rest of the game is going to figure it out eventually because that's just how things work. And it just seems like all this is unnecessary. Like, the beta program just being gone, the beta testing it seems like we're actually seeing observable things that hurt the game, that are hurting the game now because it's not here anymore. Alright, let's move on, guys. That took a long time to discuss that. So, since Valentine's Day is next month, could we see the protagonists from Lost Stars arrive as characters with their own ships? So this is a really fun novel, actually, guys. You should check it out if you want to. It's about what, Thane Kyrell, and I forget their names, but whatever. I have never cared about them being in the game, frankly. They ended up on different sides of the war and all this stuff. It's very interesting, actually. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. But I think the response is the most interesting thing. Imperials and Rebels should be good in the space battlefield for the time being. So they're not going to be releasing new ships for them. I just think it's interesting that the TIE Defender is being released as a fix for the Scythe, which the fix to the Scythe should not be a reinforcement. Like, you start with the Scythe, and then your whole fleet gets killed instantly, and then the TIE Defender's like, hey, can I come in? And your fleet's like, no, we're actually all dead, you can't come in, go F yourself. Like it seems to me like they haven't solved any problems. Actually, if they want us to use the prescribed fleet for Scythe and TIE Defender, it doesn't solve anything. A ship with reinforcement ability as required, and it just doesn't seem like it addresses any of the issues. To be honest, we'll have to see. I'll keep my mind open. Why is Iden piloting a Defender instead of her Special Forces TIE Fighter? And or the Corvus. The Corvus, yeah, that's fine. They don't have to add the Corvus. The TIE Fighters doesn't look that visually different than the actual TIE Fighters. That's also fine. I think this is fine, guys. I think the biggest thing here, guys, is at the very bottom. We've been looking at getting a non-crewless TIE Defender into the game for a while. So non-crewless. So if you look at it in the next slide, why not make it an unmanned vessel? And so, whereas they love crewless ships, except they haven't released one for a long time, we want to make sure that they stay relevant. I love that they're thinking about it, guys. I'll let you read it on your own, but they don't know how to solve crewless ships because Relic 10 is coming eventually. Like this basically announces, like Relic 10 is on its way. They need, and I love that they're actually looking at this as a potential bad thing about Relic 10. Crewless ships are going to struggle because they haven't had an update since they were released. Like, they've been the same power level. You have no way to increase the power level on any of the ships because they're just released without a pilot, so you have nothing to upgrade. Which, I mean, I love that functionality. It's just fun to be able to just farm one character and then you're done. You don't even have to put gear on them. But they are falling behind on the relic levels, and so we'll have to see. I love that CG is actually trying to get ahead of this. Like, this is a huge thumbs up from me to CG. Like, keep looking at this and looking at being proactive instead of letting our crewless ships just get more and more behind. As far as Iden piloting the Defender, I think that that's perfectly reasonable. She is a very strong Imperial pilot, and she easily could have come in contact with some kind of prototype of TIE Defender in the past in terms of lore. Even if it's not part of lore that makes sense, I think that it makes a lot of sense for them to have it. It makes more sense than Rose piloting her sister's ship, right? I mean, I think it has to make more sense than that. So, you know, there's that. There's Rose's sister who should be in the game at some point. But let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, guys. So that's it. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Lots of interesting implications this week. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xerath prevails.